Sometimes the world looks like you ain't ever seen it before. Stuck behind never-ending windows, all you need is a door. Searching for something to put a smile back on your face. Just remember, in unusual times, it can come from an unusual place. You need a partner for the ride, 'cause everybody needs a Clyde. So set your worries to the side. Just ask, say the word and I'll be there. Just ask, you know the greatest things in life all come in a pair. They say hindsight's 20/20, but that ain't far enough behind me. So if you want the sweetest honey, I think hindsight's 1990. There's no need to pretend I got a hand I can lend, 'cause when you really need a friend, just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to chop off all your hair because of a boy? Neither are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sara Fergenson. Sarah, how are you?
Don't bring that sort of energy into my home, my safe space. Okay. I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
Okay, I didn't either. So this is great because both of us were spoiled in that we knew eventually that Carrie Russell cuts her hair. It's a big freaking deal. Everyone
Yeah.
loses their minds about it.
The scissors heard across the world.
Yeah. However, I was thinking this was going to be like a season 4 storyline. Like I was thinking like we're late in the game and this is why people hate a later season. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, like, because the joke was that she cut her hair and the show got canceled, and we very much know that we have like 3 full seasons left. But
Exactly.
I mean, like, now, like, thinking, knowing how like the show's format is, like, the first season was her freshman year and now she's a sophomore. I feel like it was 4 seasons because that's 4 years of school, but I don't know. I'm terrified to see her hair. I just, and I would like to say, like, it's not because of a boy. She said that she did it for herself. Don't be rude.
Okay, but like if she doesn't have this breakup with Ben, does she
Yeah.
chop all her hair off? No.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think so, because the thing is, I don't know, like, it's interesting because she said, like, I'm trying to release myself of the thing that I find to be like the defining thing about me. And like, I would agree. Like, I think that maybe even Carrie Russell felt this way, where Hollywood saw a pretty girl with fabulous long curly hair, and like that became like the selling point for her as an actress. Like, that made her like stand out from like the Jennifer Garners of the world, who is also very beautiful in their own right, but Carrie Russell's hair made her an individual. And like, I'm sure like having hair like that, like, it feels kind of like you're chained to it, kind of like how Danielle Fishel said that like her long hair made her stand out. And like, that's one of the reasons why she got hired as Topanga, and she had it in like her contract that she couldn't cut her hair. Same thing with Ryder Strong, like, you know, but like, we want to be like more than our hair. But it's honestly a crime to cut hair that beautiful. Like, I said the same exact thing when we were watching Topanga cut her hair. It, like, she looked beautiful, but also it's like, but that's your hair and it's so pretty.
Yeah. So okay, I would agree. Like I've done the pixie cut, okay? Like I didn't go my hair
Sorry, I
wasn't
just
quite as
gagged.
my hair wasn't quite as long as nor as beautiful as Carrie Russell's is when I went pixie cut. But Yeah, I feel like the moral of the story is like I don't know that you should make any hair decisions about your hair when going through a breakup of sorts. However, it's also hair and it grows back and people need to chill, I guess is like another way to put it. I happened to Google it cuz I was really interested because I am always on wig watch, right? When we know a character is going to get a haircut, like I'm on wig watch. So I've seen this episode twice. So on the second time I watched it, I was like, okay, but Felicity's hair, no, that's actually Carrie Russell's hair the entire time. And
Yeah.
what they did was at the end of like a long day, they had someone cut a few snips of it just for like the shot, at the end of the episode. And then she went to a hairstylist and chopped it off. And it wasn't Carrie Russell's doing. Like this was her
Oh
choice. So this is
no.
different than like a Danielle Fishel where like she was like, I want to cut my hair. Like I need to cut my hair. This was the creators. This was like a JJ Abrams decision. And yeah, like
How
I think
did she
we
feel about it?
I was trying to see.
Because it's not cute. Like
Oh no, people hate it is the thing.
I've seen like previews, like if you are on Hulu or whatever streaming service, like if you see in the next box and the thumbnails, like you see the haircut, it is god awful. So like why
Yeah.
couldn't we have like a cute haircut?
So what I'm reading is apparently this is how it all went down. This is so interesting. Okay, so apparently this is how it all went down. They were wrapping up season 1, putting everything in boxes, and there was a wig that was a little boy's wig. And so Carrie Russell put it on as a joke, and they took a picture of her. And she said, "You know what would be really funny? Send this to JJ and Matt, and one of the other co-creators, over the break and say as a joke, isn't this so cute?" to give them a panic attack. And so she did that, but instead of freaking out, JJ Abrams called her to see if she'd be actually willing to cut her hair for real. And she said, "Yeah, of course. My hair was curly and it was an awkward haircut, but even so, I didn't care. Like I loved it. I thought it was so true to the character and great. I did not expect all the hysteria." So it seems like Carrie Russell wasn't bothered at all. Like I I'm with like she received like death threats. Like people are
Death
crazy,
threats.
It's just hair. It will grow.
Death threats.
I know. I think the thing that's hardest is like her hair's so pretty. Like her hair is so curly and beautiful, and so many people would kill to have her hair that chopping it all off is brutal. Like it is brutal, but like also who cares? It's hair. You know what I mean?
I just think that I mean, like, I guess Carrie Russell doesn't feel this way. Maybe because she's naturally very gorgeous, but
Mhm.
I feel like if I cut my hair, and I don't even think that I have like hair like a quarter as nice as Carrie Russell.
Mhm.
I just feel like any confidence in myself would like tank to like the bottom of existence. And like, I
Mhm.
don't know, like I maybe that seems like something like a more of a me problem, but I don't know. Like I just feel I don't know. It's just like but also it's just like a crime against humanity to cut that hair. But whatever. Like it's nobody if you've been listening to us for any sort of amount of years, it's no surprise that these would be our opinions. Just thinks hair is just hair. I think that we don't
Yeah.
cut hair that's working for you. I just but whatever. I
Yeah.
mean like it
Yeah.
hair is hair. It's true.
It will
But
grow. It's just it is very drastic and it's very sudden and it's very jarring. So I understand that. I'm
I'm
sure
jarred.
we'll
My
we'll have
my
more to
pickle
say.
jar is open.
We'll have more to say next episode when we actually get to see the haircut. Obviously, I feel like, you and I both, we've all seen like magazine covers and whatever with Carrie Russell's short hair, like, but we'll talk about it a little bit more next episode.
Yeah. I like
Let's
this episode, the list.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, so season 2, episode 2, The List. Um, I was not expecting Ben and Felicity to implode so quickly. Like we're in the second episode of the season and it's already over. This is bonkers, Sarah.
Yeah, like I think that this maybe speaks to Felicity, this show of like every time we thought we knew what was going to happen, the show pivots. And I think
Mhm.
like that adds to like the intellect and the intelligence of this show because they know the basic formula of like a teen drama. And like, I mean, like JJ Abrams is like an established, very smart creator, and like
Mhm.
he knows how to keep things going. Like if it was a basic like basketball twins show, then JJ Abrams wouldn't have gone on to make a Lost, right? So
Right.
like there has to be something. And like I think that like he's like, you think you know what's going to happen? Well, you actually don't, because we are going to switch up and reverse it. And I think like I
Mhm.
appreciate that about this show a lot, because yeah, like having Felicity and Ben spend an entire school year together is boring. It's boring. And when you're in college, like, look, I was in a committed long-term relationship during college. I should have been dicked down the whole time
Mhm. Mhm.
by
Stick
many
up.
different men, by many men. But no, I was
Yeah.
like, I am a committed woman. I'm basically a wife. I will not be dating around in college. And I say, hey, Sarah, when you were 20 years old, you're a fucking idiot. You should have been hoeing all yourself all over the place.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that later because Felicity, I mean, she's not trying to hoe down, but also she's wearing a red dress that is like, woohoo, Felicity. But let's start the episode. Ben is an idiot because he doesn't even put the tape back where it belongs, the little recording device. Felicity immediately is suspect. She's like, what the fuck? This is not where I left it. And she accuses Megan. And Sarah, the box gets brought up again. What's in the box?
I'm so firm in believing that we'll never know now. I
I'm
really
upset.
do.
I'm actively
Yeah.
upset.
I know. And I think like I think that I said this the last time we talked about the box. Adam said like once again JJ Abrams, like it is a lot more interesting to wonder about what's in the box, and like than it would ever be to actually know what's
To
in the
actually find
box.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they make a deal, where like Megan first is like, no, I would never. And but they make a deal. I will play what for you what's on this tape, and Megan will show what's in the box, and then we'll know which one is more intense. So Felicity plays the cringiest little like, oh, maybe it's love thing, and it's so awkward. And Megan is like, you can't handle what's in the box. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, we have speculated so much what's in the box. I don't think we're going to know. I think the closest we got were the taxidermied hamsters in like a poker
Mhm.
setting. Like,
I would
I
love
think like
that.
that's probably the most fucked thing that I can think of that like is not like an actual head or whatever. Because we
Yes.
know, I mean, like, we know that. Do we know that she collects skulls, or was this just like part of like the head canon? I don't know.
I
But
feel like we've
anyway,
talked about this because you like one of your
my
friends went on a
friend
date with someone who collected
collects
skulls.
skulls. I think I just brought it up
Yeah,
because that story
probably.
is my favorite story, and she's
Yeah.
still with Fish Guy. Like, I
Fish
really,
guy. Is this the guy
yeah.
that wait, why is he fish guy? Does he collect fish? He takes pictures with fish? What's the deal?
He
There's a lot
doesn't
of
no.
aquariums.
No. He, basically, he, like, goes to Whole Foods and cooks a lot of fish and then, like, puts on his Instagram, like, his cooked dishes,
And he
and
cooks a
it's
lot of fish?
a lot of fish, yeah.
I feel like his place would be smelly. I wouldn't like that.
Don't I mean, I suppose so,
He
but
probably is very healthy, and fish is a healthy
he is
meat.
very healthy, he is very
Um,
healthy, and then when I met him and I went out to dinner with him and my friend,
he ordered fish.
we ordered fish.
What a weirdo.
Fish guy. He's kind of a
So
weirdo. Don't let that get out.
so Felicity is recording another tape to Sally talking about like, oh, Ben and I are it's going great. Like being an RA is actually really fun. And they have this like RA meeting where they're like, oh, everyone's been so great. Like we love you all so much. And Megan is like, except you, because you eat your hair and it's weird. Um,
Hmm, that is
so
kinda weird.
it is. I mean, it is weird, but I'd also it's like it's like a mental health problem. Like, don't call this guy out in
Oh!
front of everyone.
This is Pika. Pika. It's Pika. Pika is the same
Exactly.
thing that where people eat paper and they
They
eat
just
like
eat things that are inedible.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like couch cushions.
Yeah. Leave the poor
Yeah,
guy alone. Get
it's
him
an
to a mental health
iron. Well,
professional.
no, no, no. Well, yes, that, but also it's an iron deficiency. So he just needs a
Okay.
supplement and
Give
then
this guy
hopefully
some
he'll feel
supplements.
better. Yeah.
So then this girl Gretchen just like makes it all about her. She's just like, I can't handle this anymore, and she runs out of the room. And so then Felicity's like, okay, well, I guess I will go handle this, because Megan's like, ugh, she's just being a drama queen. It's like, Megan, why did you actually take this job? Especially now that you're rooming with Felicity anyway, you might as well just quit. Like,
Well, free room and board, Jessica. Free room and board.
I
You probably
guess.
also get like some sort of benefits on getting into
Mm-hmm.
the classes that you want. I would
Ooh.
like to say that these meetings, when you are a college student, you want to get out of these meetings as quick as possible. So these
Yeah.
kids are just not realistic because they're like causing all these problems, talking about all this shit. It's like you just
Mm-hmm.
want to get back to your room.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where Gretchen goes, and Felicity follows her, and it turns out that Gretchen is upset because her boyfriend Ian, she feels like she's losing him. They were supposed to go to the library last night and he didn't show up. And Felicity is very much like, "Well, did you talk to him about it?" Like the normal route of, "Hey, have a conversation with this guy." Instead, Gretchen falls victim to magazines like we all did as teenagers.
Yes.
You know how
Yeah.
many magazines I read? 10 ways to get the guy, 10 ways to improve the way your boobs look. Like there were so many of these like lists and quizzes, and
Yeah.
like that basically were like, here is how to live a successful life as a teenage slash young woman. We all fell victim to these magazines.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a subscription to Cosmo magazine and I remember me and my friends like poring over them in middle school and high school. Um and it was just like something that we did. We like very much took seriously. And I don't
Mhm.
know if I remember. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember like specifically me following instructions, but I probably learned a couple of good BJ tips and tricks from them.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
and that has
exactly.
really gone me far in life. So,
Good to know. Let's talk through this list. So this is 10 steps to winning him back. Number 1, seduce him on the cell phone. When your ex is en route, give him a ring on his mobile and purr naughty nothings. How do we feel about this as a tip?
when your ex calls you, be seductive on the phone. Is that what it said?
Yeah, when your ex is en route, give him a ring on his mobile and purr naughty nothings.
Yeah, like I think that would work. Like get him in the mood.
I think, sure, if you're going as far as phone sex, I guess. I was thinking like you're probably better off with like a sext
But
nowadays
I
to
don't think that.
update the list.
Oh, to update, yes, because I don't know if texts were a thing. These people
Oh, no,
still
no,
have
no.
beepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like yeah, like sexting is definitely like thinking of you with no pants on or whatever you're saying. I don't
Exactly.
know. I don't know.
Number 2, fire him up with lusty lingerie.
So, okay, I think that men don't like lingerie
It's what's
because
underneath that counts.
they would rather just you show up naked. Because like I mean like I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on lingerie for no reason. Like basically any man that I have shown lingerie to, they were more interested in like the thong or like nothing at all. Like they don't care.
Mhm.
And like I honestly think that lingerie in a way is more for a woman because if it makes you feel sexy, then I'm all for it. But
Yeah.
I don't think that men care about
Well, plus it's
lingerie.
like, okay, so the entire purpose of this list is to win back an ex, right? So I guess my question is like, are you inviting your ex over and then like leaving the room and coming back in lingerie? Like, I guess
Yes.
that's probably the move.
But okay, remember in How I Met Your How I Met Your Mother. What is it called? Like the naked rule. Like some guy on How I Met Your Mother had this like idea, and
Mm-hmm.
it statistically worked that like if you're on a date and you want to have sex, all you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is when they leave the room and come back, you're naked. And the theory was that a percentage out of a percentage of the amount of time it will result in sex. So once
Okay.
again, you don't need the lingerie, just be naked.
Sure. I think I agree with that statement. I think that that's probably the move if you're really trying. Number
But
3 is where we get unhinged.
okay, but I do want to say, like, I do think wearing
Mhm.
sexy outfits like Felicity did does work.
Yes, agreed with that. Definitely, wholeheartedly.
Because then they want to know what's underneath.
Exactly. It's about the like the chase,
The
you know,
tease, yeah.
the tease. Yeah.
Mhm.
So next up we have put blush on your nipples. Have you
I
ever heard of this as a thing?
no.
Me?
No.
Neither. This sounds unhinged. Like, okay, let's we gotta be candid, right? Like, the thing is like not every nipple is the same, right? Not all nipples are created equal. There are different
Mhm.
colors of nipples that you can have, sometimes like going along with your skin color. So like first of all, you got to find a blush that's like even the correct color. But like what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of making your nipples pink
Okay.
or a different color? I don't know.
So Jess, the thing is that have you ever heard of like how to pick your perfect lipstick color?
Are you supposed to
Because
match your nipple color?
yes, because
Interesting.
essentially your lips and your nipples are the same color.
See, I've heard of like a my lips but better, but what you're saying is like
Yeah,
my nips.
exactly. So like I already know the color of your nipples by just looking at your lips.
Oh wow. You're just calling me out. Now everyone's going to know what color my nipples
I mean, like, think about it. Like, is it wrong?
No,
Like,
it makes sense. Like I
yeah.
understand the logic behind it. What I don't
Mhm.
understand is okay, I would
Well,
understand if
because
this
your
tip,
lips are not as pink as other lips.
but it's more so that like
Maybe
what
it's
is putting blush on your nipples if like he's going to have to see your nipples then. Like
uh-huh.
I would have thought we're in my opinion we're trying to go the Felicity route and like we're going to a party, we're trying to grab your ex's attention. So like are your nipples just out? I think instead we should replace number 3 with like make your nipples hard.
I
Like
agree with
get
that.
cold
Yes.
nipples
Yes.
because
I agree
that
with
is more of
that.
a tease like you were
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen the Skims bra where it is the bra itself has like a built-in hard nipple?
Stop it. I
I'm
have not.
serious.
I need to see this. Hold on.
Yeah, you gotta go to
Skims
Skims
nipple
nipple
bra.
bra. Yeah.
Skims
Yeah.
ultimate bra push up. Oh,
Yeah. Kim Kardashian thinks of everything.
stop this. Stop this right now.
Well,
There's
only
full on things for your. And the funny thing
yeah.
is, I feel like most people are like, I don't want people to be seeing my nipples are hard, you know?
No,
Because you
no,
get the
no.
like, oh,
Actually,
is it
people
cold in here?
no,
Like,
people do want to show off their nipples, actually. It
what's
is
funny too is that
trendy to
like,
show off your nipples.
we would never like we see guys' nipples all the time.
Yeah.
Like, why is this such a big deal? This is
Well, the
so
ironic
funny.
thing is, like, thankfully, this bra goes up to like 46F, theoretically. You
Mhm.
know, if you have a bigger chest, especially like a 46F, your
Mhm.
nipples are not upright like that. It is physically
No.
impossible.
Gravity don't work that way, baby.
No, but like the nipples are they're upright. But no, like it is trendy to have hard nipples. So Kim Kardashian said, "Hey, let me make a push-up bra with the nipples already inserted in."
This is insanity.
And
Actual
you can
insanity.
you can pay with Klarna and get 4 payments of $16.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, so put blush on your nipples. That is the only one we
Okay.
hear, right? We only hear the
Yeah.
first 3.
Maybe it's like contouring essentially for the nips.
I Yeah. Also, the magazine is called Girl World. I felt like that was worth mentioning.
I mean, I'm a girl in a world. I
very
guess it's
cheesy.
a good. Is that all we got?
That's all. We only get the first 3. But
Man.
Felicity is very anti this list. She said, like, I wouldn't be in a relationship where I couldn't be myself. Like, these lists are asking you to basically pretend to be someone you're not, and you shouldn't do that just to get your boyfriend interested. And so then of course Gretchen is like, Felicity is trying to impart wisdom on Gretchen, right? And Felicity says, like, and she's like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And Felicity says, oh, kind of. We're like just starting out. And Gretchen is longing for like the honeymoon phase of her relationship. I think this happens in a lot of relationships, Sarah, where it's like once you've been dating for a while, maybe the cute little love notes stop. Maybe the like,
Mm,
oh, you're so cute or you're so funny. Like, maybe the compliments stop coming in. Maybe they stop paying
mm,
attention. Like,
yeah.
that's where Gretchen is currently.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's dark days. I feel as
Mhm.
though, like, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of like really trying to keep that going throughout the rest of your relationship because I think that's important. Everybody
Mhm.
just wants to feel special.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Go
Um,
go text Will that he's cute right now.
okay.
Right now.
Okay.
You're not
Jesus.
doing it. I don't see your phone in your hand.
We don't talk. I talk to him over Discord most of
Oh
the
yeah, I
time.
forgot that all you do is talk on Discord. I forgot you don't
Yeah, so
text.
I wouldn't be texting it.
You're
Yeah,
so
anyway.
I just don't believe that you texted him that.
Okay. You want what am I saying? Give me the exact quote.
You say, "Why do I have to hand feed
Because
you a
you
compliment
want
to
me
your
to do
husband?"
this. Because you are the one who wants me to do this. He's gonna be so
Uh,
confused.
be like, "You are so freaking cute."
Frickin'
You
cute.
say that?
Uh,
You ever say freaking?
I say frickin' sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what he says. Okay.
You are
Moving
so
on. So
freaking cute. I'll text it to Adam, but I'm sure he hears me. He knows it's a
yeah,
scam.
he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So Gretchen mentions this funny look that Ian gave her once. She said one day he got this funny look on his face, and I never got another love note again. Do you want to know what she's talking about?
I think that I understand like the look of like coldness and disinterest, and I think like that's probably what she's feeling.
Yeah, it's like to me it feels very much akin to a deer in headlights, sort of like we're going too fast. Like this is moving too fast and I wasn't ready for
Oh,
this.
is that the funny look?
Maybe it could be. I mean, it could mean a multitude
I
of
mean, I
things, I
guess that's
suppose.
Ben's funny look. I think that Ben's funny look and Gretchen's boyfriend's funny look is probably two different funny looks.
Um, Also, my husband texted me back a question mark. I told you he'd be confused.
Is he in the other room?
No, he's at work right now.
Why would his response be question mark?
Because
you
he's
don't,
like, why? Because out of the blue, I'm
you
just
don't
saying.
what you don't compliment him enough, and he is confused.
I do, but not
What?
just randomly out of the blue. Like
I
usually we're
compliment
having a
No, I
conversation.
compliment Adam all the time out of the blue.
I'm happy that that works for you. Also, can I just say, yesterday I was scrolling through my phone, like going through really, really old photos. And I found like a ton of screenshots from very early on in mine and Will's relationship. And it was
Mm,
so funny. I
well,
found
okay,
the text exchange where
yeah.
we define the relationship.
Oh, really? Do you wanna read it back?
I'd have to find it in my
I
phone now.
I think you've shown these to I think you took the screenshots because we were in some sort of capacity doing something and you shared I've seen these before, but,
Yeah, yeah.
um
Also, he said he was confused that I said it's a podcast bit. I knew you'd be confused. He said, "What does it mean?" I said, "We were talking about the honeymoon phase of a relationship." Oh, okay. Anyone who responds like that's a normal random thing to say is weird.
okay, I just think that, like,
There you go.
you and Will, I guess, are just not words of affirmation
We're
people.
not. We're not. No.
I, like, very much like, I'm a words of affirmation person, like, I like, the ways that I, like, show affection, one of
Mhm.
the ways is just, like, complimenting and encouraging and, like, sharing that I think, like, people are, like, amazing, so, like, it's not weird for me to be like randomly like you are like I like we just like sit and we're like you're perfect like we're just like
No, it's not really something we do. Like, when I was going through these old screenshots, a lot of them were very like teasing, I guess is the word, and not in like the sexy way, like in like the normal way, the like childish way, if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, let me see if I could find
You guys
one.
are quality time people.
We are definitely, that's the number one, yeah, quality time. But yeah, so they're talking about this look, right? That men get on their face,
Mhm.
and or I guess partners get on their face. And Felicity is like talking about, oh, I hadn't seen him on Ben. Everything was going great. They're like talking about plans that they're working, and they're talking about plans. They're going to go to Bryant Park and see a movie. They're going to take a picnic, and they have this conversation, and Felicity just looks at Ben and she says, "Oh, I love this being with you. It's just great."
Yeah,
And
this interaction was very cute.
except
He got
he
the
gets the
look.
look.
He sucks. Actually, you know what it is? It's like Sean really did a number on him. He got
Yeah.
very spooked, which is
He did.
unfortunate.
It is. It's like he's immediately like, "Oh no, this is moving so fast." Because I think when she says, "I love this," I think in his head he's like, "Oh my god, she practically just said I love you." I feel like that's what
Is
he's
it
thinking in the
is it
moment.
so wild to have known each other for years and be dating for an entire summer and share that you have feelings of
Well,
love? Is that so bad? Is it so scary? I am so sorry that I've inconvenienced you with my feelings. I'm sorry that gave you the ick after it's been years of knowing each other and months of being together and weeks of having intimate moments together. Like, I am so sorry that is inconvenient and disgusting to you that I have formed feelings for you. You stupid fucking idiot whore.
yeah. I mean,
I'm a feeler like Felicity.
you are. I would say, like, technically, they didn't really see each other over the summer because he went to Mexico. They spent weeks on the road together, which is huge. That is a huge bonding thing. They weren't, I guess they hadn't DTR'd at that point. Like, they weren't technically dating. Then they come back to school. And also, like, they knew each other for years. Like, Felicity knew Ben for years. Ben was not really aware of Felicity's existence all that much. He gave her a hags, let's not forget. So yeah, this is but Ben sucks. Like Ben, I mean, let's cut to the chase. Ben sucks in this episode so hard. And the thing that makes me most upset is I feel like the reason he gets all in his head about everything is because of Sean. And that's not really cool. And maybe he has this freak out even without Sean getting in his head, because we saw what he did with Julie. Like he very much was like, this is too much too fast. I'm out. Like, and she warned Felicity like that he's gonna do the same thing to you. However, like Felicity isn't an all-in person. She is not a date around girly. She is a relationship girly. She is a monogamy girly. You can't fuck
Yeah.
around with her like this because this isn't how she plays when she dates, you know?
But also, like, let her say that. Let her say that. Like, don't be talking to Sean, making assumptions. Like, Felicity never said that that's what she wanted. And to be honest
Yeah.
with you, she was in a relationship with Noel. And, like, I don't know. Like, it's not like she ever was talking about getting married to Noel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the other thing is Felicity's not saying, like, she's not expecting you to say it back at the same time either. You know what I mean? Like if she was putting pressure on you, that's one thing, but it doesn't really seem like she is. And so
Hmm.
Ben goes to Sean and he's like, having this very frank conversation about like, oh my gosh, like this is so stressful. And Sean basically says, the elephant in the room is like always going to be there. You listen to her tape. She thinks this is love. And it's like Sean is like, you came to me, and we all know the reason you came to me, and it's because you want to, like, you're not ready for this and you don't know what to do about it. And it's like, I guess I just don't understand where Ben is coming from, and maybe it's because I'm also a monogamy girly, and so like I don't fuck around. If I want to date you, I'm going to date you, and I'm not going to date anybody else, and we're going to make it serious because
Yeah.
we've said this before, Sarah, like I date to get married. Like I date to find, I shouldn't even say that. Like it's more about I date to find someone I want to spend the rest of my life with, not someone that I want to
Yeah.
spend a month with.
Yeah.
And Felicity feels like she's kind of that way as well. And Ben is intimidated by it. It's too much for him.
Okay, so then maybe Ben should stop trying to get into relationships with women that want to have relationships,
Yes,
because
yes.
he did that to Julie as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is the second time he's done this. So we'll see how all that breaks out. But we need to talk about this, Sarah. We need to talk about Noel and Elena, because we talked about this in the premiere episode of season 2 about, oh, now they're roommates. Is there something romantic that's going to happen? Gosh, I got even more vibes of that happening this episode.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't know if I'm into it.
I don't think I'm into it. I feel like where I am is I feel like I could be into it. It depends on how they do it, I think.
Hmm.
You know?
I just I just don't know how much Noel and Elena have in common.
Well, let's see. They both work hard at school. They're both like pretty emotional people, I would say.
Hmm.
They give each other crap, which I like. I think like having that in a relationship, a little bit of a back and forth is good. Have a little bit of banter.
Hmm.
I think
Some
Elena is a
bands.
much yeah, I think the thing is can Noel handle Elena is more of what, she's got her eyes on the ball, let's remember. I don't know if he can handle her.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember
Yeah.
the eyes on the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, the interactions between them have been pretty amusing. I have been enjoying them, especially a scene later on. So yeah, like absolutely. I mean, like, I don't know, like, I just kind of feel as though, um, I'm not sure. I think I need to see more of them together.
That's fair. They're having a conversation at a bar or a restaurant bar, where Elena's asking Noel how many people he slept with. Is it more or less than 10? And it's less than 10. And she's like, that's adorable. It's like you're a virgin. And she's trying to be like his wing woman and get him to ask out the waitress.
Yeah.
It doesn't go well. I mean, at first he just asks for
No.
a straw because he doesn't know what to say. I just feel like this isn't the move, Noel. You don't just ask out a random girl. Like, find someone who you're interested in, you know?
Well, I guess so. I also think that it's like very, like, it makes sense to like, it's the same thing about being at a bar and going up to somebody and like hitting on them, like,
Yeah.
so I think that the or in a in a different way, like going on an app and swiping for somebody because you find them attractive. Like, I think that there has to be an element of like the person that you're pursuing is attractive to you.
Certainly. It's just more about like, I mean, at least on an app, some of their interests as well, right? Like this is a random person who just happens to be your waitress you basically just got dared to ask her out.
Hmm.
And we also find out that the girl in Berlin that he was like bragging to Felicity about, turns out it was like one drunken night and that was it. Like it wasn't a big thing, which
Mm,
makes sense. He was all bluster about it.
yeah, I mean, he definitely made it sound like it was more just to
Mhm.
make Felicity feel any sort of way.
Yeah. Uh then we're over to Julie, who is quite bold to want to throw a party in Sean's apartment that she's basically just crashing in for a little bit. But she says, we're going to get 150 college kids in here, which seems like a fucking lot for an
That's a
apartment.
lot of people, but it's a
Yeah.
big apartment. But I was like, I mean, it's one thing to throw a party. I feel like that's okay. It's another thing to throw a party with 150 people. But she is economically minded because she's like, we can charge a $5 cover fee. And this just like, when you talk money with Sean, it's like foreplay.
He
He
loves a scheme.
he's like done and done.
Mhm. Yeah, and so he's like, "Okay, well, since it's you and they're going to split the money 50-50, he agrees to it." And Sarah, we called this back in season fucking 1, the vibes between these characters.
Yeah.
Sean is very much into Julie. He says, "Oh, we make like such a great team." And she's off to go invite a guy, Tim, from her class, and she's been looking for an excuse to talk to him. So it's like, oh, it seems like this might be one-sided.
It definitely is one-sided, but I think it also might be like a case of she not realizing that like he's a potential guy.
It feels like she's friend zoned him.
But not like, I don't think that she intentionally did that. Like, I don't think that she
No.
realized that. I think that she's probably like not even aware that he likes her. It feels like, because she just thinks that they're friends. And like, once again, we've talked a lot about friend zoning on this podcast. Like, Sean's role right now is to play the long game.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
will
He's
say
buddying up
that
to her.
yes, yeah. Play the long game. You have a chance, maybe. Just be there for her.
Well, especially after what he does for her later, I'm like, good.
Mhm.
He's doing a good job at like biding his time, being patient, let her date a couple of duds, you know, and so
Yes.
that she'll see how great you could be for her.
Yes.
So back at Dean and DeLuca, Felicity is showing this is so awkward. Felicity is showing Ben all these photos that they took from their road trip. And like it's so awkward. She's like watching him look at them and he's not even smiling. And she's like waiting for him to say something and he's not. He's just staring with like dead eyes and she's just like, "Oh, like what's wrong?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, they're fine." Like she's like, "No, you have this like weird look on your face and this is like the second time I've seen it. Is it about us?" And the thing is, Ben as a romantic person, a romantic interest, a partner
Mhm.
pisses me the fuck off. Like
Oh yeah.
he just sits there silently.
Yeah.
Dude, like say something. She basically has to put it into his mouth and be like, "You're not happy, like I can tell."
Once again, it just reminds me of the Julie breakup as well, where
Mhm.
Ben needs the woman to do the front work.
And this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, it's pretty icky, especially seeing it twice.
And because literally last episode, he was like, "I'm ready to make this like serious." And she was like, "If you're going to break up with me, just do it quickly." And he was like, "No, I would like to date
Yeah.
you."
Yeah. I mean, like, he really, and like, I mean, he pretty much did this to Julie too. Like, he really just drags these girls along until he gets the ick and then he
Mhm.
bounces. And that's
Yeah.
That's pretty icky. Talk about talk about the ick, yeah? Like, but like also, I just feel like it's going to be so satisfying to Julie being like, "Oh, you thought you were different. You
Yes.
thought you were something special.
Miss
Well,
Petty Queen is going to be living her best life.
just like you are just another girl on Ben's belt notches." Like,
Exactly.
yeah. And I
And they haven't even slept together yet is the thing.
no, but like you're right. Yeah.
If they had,
And
that'd be so much worse.
yeah, absolutely it would. But it's just so interesting because it really is like whenever things start having like a reflection of something serious, Ben bounces. And it's just
Yeah.
like, gosh, like fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, right? Like it's just like the shit that he does.
Yeah.
And once again, like it's fine. Like it's fine to not be in a committed relationship during college. I actually think when you're in your early 20s, I don't think you should be in a long-term committed relationship in college, especially. But then stop pursuing women that do want to have like a
Exactly.
relationship. And I just love what Felicity says later on, where she's just
Mhm.
like, you knew this about me and you pursued me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. Yes. I love that she calls him out on it. And so he says, I don't know if this is what I want right now." And so she's like, "Okay." And she's obviously like devastated by this. She's talking to Elena about it. She's like, "We didn't even get to go to Bryant Park. Like, I'm really upset." And Elena says, like, he's a guy, like nothing they ever do made sense. And Ben is feeling like I think a little conflicted about this decision. Like he's talking to Sean and saying, "I didn't even tell her. I like listened to her tape." And he's like, what if I made a mistake?" And it's like, Ben, you can't just be like yanking her back and forth. This is you made a decision and now you have to stick with it because
Well,
going
yeah.
back to her now, you're such a dick. Like you're
Well,
such a
yeah.
dick.
And that reminds me of like Noel, where he like just could not make up his mind. And then he
Mhm.
ultimately kind of like fucked it up with her.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you think that Ben should tell Felicity that he listened to the tape?
Not at this point, no. I think the ship has sailed. I think you're done.
Yeah, especially if like the end result is like I don't feel the same way
Exactly.
about
You're just
you.
gonna hurt her more doing
Yeah,
that.
because
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things where it's like you are sharing this with her to release your guilt, not to make her feel better.
Exactly.
So I feel as though it's just selfish, but he feels differently. Like he thinks that like he owes it to, and like in a way, because is this the next scene or do we have something else where like Ben does go back to Felicity?
No, that's not yet. Not yet. Because
Damn.
we well,
Okay.
Julie brings in all the party supplies, and then we get the scene with Felicity and Gretchen, where she's doing number 6 on the list, which is give yourself a high voltage look.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree with number 6. I think that if your objective is to get your ex back, giving yourself a sexy makeover will likely work.
Right. It's more the fact that she can't really walk in the heels though is where I'm like, girl, you're gonna like break an ankle or something. Like you could give yourself a sexy look without killing your ankles, you know? Like
Yeah.
I think you'd be fine. But Felicity's surprised. She's like, oh, you actually are like continuing with the list. And Gretchen's like, yes, it's working. Like, one of Ian's friends saw me dressed like this in the cafeteria, and now Ian wants a personal viewing. Um,
Ooh.
and so she's just like it's working. I'm so happy. Also, look at this magazine because there's a dress on page 54 that I think would look great on you. And I assume this is the red dress that we see her in later. I mean,
Mhm.
that was my assumption, but I mean, Felicity has to be feeling all sorts of awful, right? Like she was coming in on a little bit of like a high horse of, well, everything is working out roses for me. I'm with Ben. I'm happy. Like, no, you don't need to change yourself. And then she sees Gretchen getting good results and she just basically got dumped. And so she's like, maybe I should use this list.
Yeah. I mean, if the results are passing, then I suppose we should go forward with the list.
Yeah. Uh and then we get Elena and and Noel. She's trying to give him tips because he goes to ask out the bartender. The bartender's like, I don't take customers. Also, I have a boyfriend. Please leave. And so Elena's like, well, let's work on your game. We need to like work on your approach here. What did you think of the scene, Sarah, of Elena? Did you think Elena gave good tips?
No. Yes. I don't know. I mean, I think like any tips could really help him,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't know. I just don't know if these are successful tips.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he like doesn't have a great approach, right? Like he does like,
Yeah,
"Hi,
no,
I'm Noel." And she's like,
he's
"No,
so
stop
awkward.
it."
Yeah, he's so awkward. Um, he's an embarrassment. I don't know how he got more than 2 less than 10 women to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing is he's great when he's in a relationship,
Yeah,
but I don't think
he's a relationship guy. He's not
he
a
can't be the
dating
guy that hits
guy.
on people. Like he just can't
No,
do
he's a
it. I
little
think he
awkward.
just yeah, I think he just thrives more when it's like a I think he thrives more when it's a low pressure situation, when he's like
Yeah.
hanging out with a friend, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably yeah, like he's definitely like a friend to girlfriend guy.
Mhm. So Elena says, like, listen, we're gonna go to Julie's party, and that's where you're gonna get a girl's number. I believe in you. You can do this. So everybody's gonna be at this party.
It's the place to be. It's the place to be. This party does
Mhm.
look a little fun.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Felicity is like looking at the pictures from the road trip, and in comes Berkey or whatever this guy's name is,
Mhm.
and he 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 wants to ask her out. He's very insistent on this. And she
Yeah.
just blows up at him and I loved this.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm never going to go out with you. I never will go out with you. I never have been interested in going out with you. Please go the fuck away. And
Mhm.
he is like, oh, Dr. Seuss, I love that guy. And she's like, get the fuck out. So,
Yeah.
and also, like, I mean, he's just like a little dweeb. Like, go away, little dweeb.
Yeah, she has no time for him. She calls him an incessant gnat. Um,
He is
and
an insensitive gnat.
mhm.
He
Yeah.
is. He just won't go away. But yeah, more on that later.
Yeah, this is when we get the conversation between Ben and Felicity, where he comes home and or comes excuse me, comes home, comes into Felicity's room and he's like, "Oh, I thought we should talk." And Felicity's like, "I don't understand. Like I thought we had a really great time on our trip. And also, is it just me or has Felicity adopted a little bit of the whisper talk like Ben?"
I think she's always talked like that.
Okay, cuz it drives me ever so slightly
It's
crazy.
just you want people to enunciate.
I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
Um
Speak with your full chest.
Seriously, how hard is it? How hard is it? Just speak up a little bit.
I mean,
Um,
seems a little hard.
but Felicity asks, like, what happened? Like, I don't understand where things went wrong. Like, was it something I did? Like, I don't understand. And Ben just says, "Oh, I guess I just feel a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and
I'm
she's like,
worried."
from me, like where's this pressure coming from?
Yeah, he says, "I'm worried I'm not going to be able to live up to your expectations." And
Mm.
Felicity, rightfully so, is like, "I don't understand. Like, all I wanted to do is be with you. What expectations?" And Ben says, "Oh, you want more than that. You want someone who's going to be totally focused on you long term."
Once again, like I don't know if she said this like in any capacity on the tape or off, or if this is just like an assumption that Sean has made about her because she seems like a relationship girl. But it's infuriating.
Mhm. Yeah, and he says like you want someone who's going to talk to you about everything, and it's a lot to
That
do
she
with
does want, yeah.
yeah, and he says it's a lot to do with knowing that you think that this might be love or whatever. And Felicity says like, "Who said anything about love?" And he says, "You did. I listened to your tape." Like, dick, you're a dick. You like he
Yeah,
basically is weaponizing words that she said
yeah,
in a private like conversation is a better like way to put it. Like
yeah,
she is having a private conversation with one of her friends. He overheard that conversation and now he's using it against her. And it's
yeah.
so unfair. It's so unfair. It's her private thoughts.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I also I feel as though and he says like she's like you know, I wasn't even knowing what I was saying. It was just a stream of consciousness. And he's like, that's almost worse because those are your like true unfiltered thoughts. And then she's like, oh, so
Yeah.
I can't be like true to myself. It's all very frustrating. But the thing is like, I don't necessarily agree with the fact of like stream of consciousness equals her true thoughts because she can just be working something out in her mind. Like, she could be saying like this feels like it could be love, like I'm not quite sure, like like it doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
like there's plenty of times where like I've been in therapy or wherever where I'm like trying to work something out in my head and there's just like I have to like kind of like throw out, and this is an exercise that my therapist actually does with me a lot, where she's just she asks me a question, I kind of like answer in a bunch of different ways, and she's just like, which one of these things like connect with you the most? Like,
Mhm.
what feels true? And I'm like, huh, like, I don't know, like, I'm feeling gravitated towards this thing. Like, you might be just trying to work things out in your head, and some people do it in writing. Felicity does it on tape. And the thing is that like it is her private business that she sends specifically to Sally, and
Mhm.
he listened in, and I don't know. I'm like also, by the way, like I feel as though they're I don't know, are all diaries, whether they be once again written or by tape, is it all just like there's like a 90% chance it's going to be seen by another person?
On TV, sure.
I
Like
just like I also
in
think
real
in
life, I don't think so.
I just feel as though, like, I don't know, like, nothing is, like, that private. This is
Right. But
why I have my Microsoft OneNote and it is locked by not only fingerprint but also by password. These bitches will never hear my private
There you
thoughts.
go. Yeah, I totally agree with you in that, like, these are her stream of conscious thoughts. Like, she's using Sally as like a wall to bounce ideas off of like a way to process feelings that she's having. Just because she said like, "Oh, Sally, like maybe this is love. Like I'm really feeling good about this." That doesn't mean that she's suddenly going to go up to Ben and be like, "Ben, I love you." You know? Like
Mhm.
it's just so
Yeah.
unfair for him to
Oh,
use
I
that
love
against
you
her.
and I want to be with you forever and I want to be committed with you and I want to get married with you and I want to move in with
Yes.
you and I want to have
And this is
babies with
why
you.
she didn't
She did
like
not say this.
that's what I'm saying. She didn't say
Mm.
this to him. She said it
Yeah.
at what she thought was like a very private conversation. And it's really unfair of him to then use this against her as a
Mhm.
reason to not be with her. And so yeah, it really sucks. It's I don't know, like she wants an explanation
And once
and
again, what is so bad about being told that somebody could have feeling, oh, this is
yeah.
annoying to me.
Yeah.
I am angry.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I thought this could work, but like maybe it can't." And then we get like, Felicity is sulking. Megan is like, "Ugh, it's Ben, isn't it? Of course. Of course." But yeah, Felicity is thinking to herself, she's like, "Wow, like this list is like working for Gretchen, maybe I should try it." We find out what number 5 is on the list. Go where the action is. I think this is a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, like if you are out and about and the person that you're trying to get back sees that you're having a good fucking time without him, then he'll get jealous and then want
Exactly.
to like go up and talk to you like Ben does. I think the list works actually.
So
If the
I
object of the game is to get your ex back, then I think that there's more pros to this list than cons.
I think I don't disagree that like there are some things in the list that could work. I just think the rationality behind using the list is incorrect. Like if you want to
Mhm.
get back at your ex, I think you should do this list. I don't think you should
Mm.
want to get back with your ex with this list.
Um I
But
mean, yes.
but
I
I'm
mean,
the
if
type who's
you
like if you insult me and you bruise my
mhm,
ego, fuck you, I'm burning it to the
mhm.
ground. Like
If
we're not getting
you
back together.
want to lure your ex in for sex, this list
This is the
works.
list for you.
This is
Yeah.
the list for you. I think that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't like get your ex back to date for a long time and get married. This is like get your ex
Mhm.
back to seduce him into having sex with you again.
Yes.
And then he'll break up with you because he doesn't want a relationship. He
Yeah.
just wants to
And then
sleep with
you'll
you.
have to burn all his stuff,
But
and
then
it's a really
also,
big thing.
I don't know if any man would men are like a little more simple than this. I think that if you would call up your ex and be like, "Let's fuck," they'd be like,
Where and
"Yes, tell
when.
me when." Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't think that you need to do all this shit because
No,
like
guys are pretty simple.
yeah, what man
Yeah.
is going to say no to that unless
Yeah.
they're involved with somebody else?
Yeah. So Felicity's combining a few of these. She's combining number 5, go where the action is. Number 6, dress high voltage. And number 7, let him see you with another guy, which,
Yeah.
yes, agree. I
Yes.
agree
Yeah.
that these would work.
Once again,
So,
and this is like I think that we figured it out. Like this is not how you get your ex back to be with you. This is how to get your ex back to be with you.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, what do we think of Felicity's red dress, the infamous red
She's
dress?
hot. I'm very straight and I'm attracted to her in this.
Okay, 10 out of 10 with her hair. It has volume. She's wearing a red lip, which
Yeah,
I love a red
the
lip.
backless dress is
Yes.
so it's hot. It's
I'm
very,
sorry,
very hot.
backs are sexy. We all know
Yeah.
it.
If
And it's like a
I
very
had
deep back.
Yeah, if I had her figure, then and she's not wearing a bra because she doesn't need to because her breasts are perfect and very up.
And she's letting her nipples poke through the dress too.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian and her skims are quaking, but it is a very hot dress. Like she looks incredible in it.
Mhm.
She will seduce any man. She goes straight to Berkey because that's like the first man that's available to her that she hasn't already been intimate
She
with
could
and
do
who's
so much
speaking.
better than this.
I don't know, like no other man that she knows is speaking to her. I don't think that she knows a lot of men.
I guess
Um,
so.
she could have called Eli, I suppose, but I don't even know if she ever had Eli's number.
We don't know. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna see Eli again. So
Mm.
Berkey is like, yes, I am available to be your date at this party, 1,000%.
Mhm.
And then off they go to Julie's party. Do you think they had to pay the $10
Of course not.
increased from five
If Sean
covered charge?
ruins Felicity's relationship with Ben and then charges her $10 to get in, I'm on it.
Yeah.
He's evil.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Berkey probably has to pay the
Who cares?
$10.
Berkey can pay. Berkey can pay for both of them, honestly. If he should be
Hmm.
thrilled to be at a party with Felicity. So
Yeah,
Sean sees Tim at the door, Julie's friend, and he's like, he charges him anyway, which was very
good,
funny, very petty, and
good.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And while we're at the party, we have Elena and Noel, where she's giving him tips on asking someone out, and he meets a girl named Bridget. No, not Bridget, like a normal fucking person, but Bridget, which is like rigid with an B at the beginning of it. What are we doing? Why is
This
your
is
name Bridget?
this is not a real name.
It's fucking stupid. And the fact that she gets annoyed with him for getting it wrong, it's like, get a fucking real name, Bridget.
It's probably because like people have that is a real name.
Is it? I feel so bad for anybody named Bridget. Oh my god, it's like frigid.
Yeah, it's an
Frigid
Irish
Bridget.
name. It's an Irish name. It
Okay.
means strength or exalted one.
Well, you're gonna need
Uh,
strength to live your life with a name like Bridget.
yeah, yeah.
Yikes.
It's a variation of Bridget.
Ay,
But
ay,
the
ay.
Irish version and not the French version.
Horrible.
Wow, it's a
Horrible.
name. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. Uh, it is. It's. It does not place in the U.S. Name
Hmm.
rankings. Actually,
Yeah.
it's not doing so well. There was only. Uh, I don't know if this is true. That doesn't seem right.
No. But
I'm
this is
trying to.
so awkward. Noel trying to ask her
Mhm.
out. Like he is so out of his depth here.
Yes, he is. But I mean, I think it's working because we do see her later on hand him a piece of paper with her number on it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like he's doing like the awkward white guy head bob of like to the
Mm.
music. It's so
Oh,
awkward. I can't. Meanwhile, it turns out that Tim isn't exactly the one for Julie. She's had enough of him. He's annoying her. He's quoting Neil Diamond all the time.
oh, that's gross. I'm getting the ick.
Yeah. And so luckily Sean has her back and he assigns her like door duty to get her away from Tim. And he says, "Come on, Tim, you and I are gonna have a guy talk."
Yeah, and then Sean takes out a gun and shoots him in the head
Great.
to get rid of him. I'm watching too much Shameless. I'm sorry.
My God.
Yeah.
Felicity comes in her red dress. She's like adjusting her little high heel strappy shoe, and whose eyes are all a goggle? Fucking Ben.
Ben is like a moth to a flame, goes directly to
Mhm.
Felicity and asks if he can get her a drink and asks to talk to her. And
Yes.
Felicity ditches Berkey in the wind.
Yes. Yeah, because she says number 9 on the list is stay icily indifferent. Which she says the problem with this list is that yes, it changes the way you're acting, but not the way you feel. And of course, this is the big problem that Felicity was correct about when talking to Gretchen is like you're changing yourself. Like that, and yes, to an extent that can be fine, especially if it's like I would say if you're trying to avoid getting back together with your ex, making yourself be a little bit colder, making yourself do things you wouldn't normally do to protect yourself, that seems great. That seems normal. That seems fine. This is a little tricky because she's like doing things she wouldn't normally do.
Hmm.
And yeah, she has to be icily indifferent, but of course, like you said, she ditches Berkey to go hang out with Ben on the rooftop, which is like the most romantic place you could be.
Yeah, I love like the seductive walk that she does towards the elevator, and then
Mhm.
she catches Noel's eye as well.
He is wide-eyed looking at them going up the elevator. But you're right. It does look like he gets Bridget's phone number. Um, and he says like, "Oh, you look great." And she says, oh, I didn't wear this for you. And he says, oh, right, you wore it for your date, which is everything wrong with Ben, is that sentence.
Yeah. And she's like, no, 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 no. I wore it for me, which is
Hell
exactly what.
yes.
Yeah, like honestly, it's just like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That is also the point of wearing sexy clothes or sexy dress. Make yourself feel good about yourself.
Yeah. He is playing yo-yo with Felicity's heart, honestly. Like, it's really
Mhm.
awful. He says, like, oh, you look great. Like, I'm really sorry. I listened to the tape and you were right. Like, that picture of us at this like market or whatever is my favorite. We both look so happy in it. And it's like he's so fucking toying with her. Like, this is
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
He's
awful.
a dog.
Yeah. And he says, "Oh, we look happy in it." And she says, "Oh, I thought we were." And then they kiss. And while they're kissing, God, she gets like digmatized, right? They're like kissing, and she's just like enjoying it. And she says, maybe you're right. Like, maybe this doesn't have to be such a big deal." And this is all Ben wants to hear. This is all Ben wants to hear. He's like, "We could be casually fucking. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted."
Right, yeah. He wants somebody to flirt with and to go to the movies with and to hook up with, and that's it.
Yeah, she says we could take it day by day, no expectations.
Oh, that is music to his ears. Day by
Mhm.
day, no expectations.
Yeah, exactly what he wants. But unfortunately, this is not Felicity. This isn't who she is. This isn't what she wants, but she's willing to like make a concession because she really likes Ben. And it's painful. It's awful. Like, I mean, listen, kiss chemistry in this episode I thought was really good, especially because
Mhm.
she's wearing a backless dress. His hands are like right near the badonk, lower back badonk area. It's great,
Mhm.
but it's
Yes.
toxic, so we hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
With the
it's not
taste
good.
of the lips, I'm on a ride. Very toxic.
Incredible.
Guns have been on. I don't know if I know all the
You're
words.
toxic, sipping on and nothing. I don't know all the
Yeah,
words.
yeah. I mean, okay, hold on.
Yeah,
With the
what?
taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're
Okay.
toxic, I'm slipping under. With a taste of a poison paradise, I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're
Know that you're
toxic?
toxic.
And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic? This is actual poetry. Um, and
Yeah,
I love it.
perfect.
The with the taste of your lips, and then like the robot music comes. Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready
Intoxicate me
now.
now
I
with
think
your
I'm
loving
ready now.
now. I think I'm
Intoxicate
ready
me now
now.
with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. Yeah, this song
um,
is about Felicity and Ben.
obviously. Uh, so turns out Julie and Sean made $700 each.
That is beautiful.
Let's see.
It is
$700.
gorgeous to see.
Okay. $700 in 1999 is worth $1,300 nowadays. Imagine making
Wow.
$1,300 in one night as a broke college student.
Yeah, Julie said that she didn't even make that much money in one summer working.
Yeah, yeah, and she credits him with like increasing the price from 5 to 10. And so he wants to like celebrate and have dinner together, but she has a date tonight. And Sean looks a little sad about it.
Looks a little depressed.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay,
Well,
Sean.
yeah. I think she'll come around.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so too. I think we're destined to have them date at some point. So,
Yeah.
um, but Felicity is like packing up a picnic. She's going to Bryant Park. She's going to meet Ben there. We decided we were going to finally do Bryant Park. Only problem is this fucker doesn't show up.
What an idiot.
What a true idiot.
What was he doing? Do we even know? He just
Oh, he
forgot.
said he went to like he helped Sean clean up like the party and like return the keg or something, and then they
Oh,
got dinner
right.
and he had forgotten. Yeah. And she again, Felicity, as always, is making concessions, and she's like, "Don't worry, it's not a
It's like,
big
no
deal."
biggie. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
she says like, "It's so." This is when I think this is kind of like
But
the
then,
breaking point for
well,
her.
then he also like rewards her by being like, thank you for being so cool about this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, And she says, it started to get to me, this compromise, and I can't stop wondering, are there parts of me that that if I give them up, I won't be me anymore?
Like her hair. Yes, that's what I mean.
Well, I think she's talking about dating Ben. Like, she's giving up the fact that she
Right.
wants to be monogamous and all of
Yeah.
that. I think
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
she
That's
sees
not
it
me
as
anymore. Yeah.
liberating, yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Um,
But also, I kind of like my ideas were turning and being like, oh, like, yes, like if she, I don't know, she hides behind this like mask of perfect hair. Is she her anymore? I don't know. So
I
there's
think no, I
something
do think
there.
it is a test. It is a test for her to see if, like, can I be me without my hair? Like, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to be someone else. But she has this conversation with Gretchen where Ian dumped Gretchen, so the list didn't work for her. And she says to Felicity, like, oh my gosh, you would never compromise yourself in the way that I did. And it's like, yikes, if only you knew,
Yeah.
girl.
Well, you knew. Technically, it did work, just not in the way that you wanted.
Exactly. So I think this is kind of the light that this is the conversation Felicity needed to have to kind of really let it sink in that, like, I'm compromising who I am to be with Ben, and I don't want to do that. So she waits for him outside, and she says, I can't be with you like this. I mean, I know I said that I could, but I can't. I just can't compromise myself like that. I'm an emotional person. I feel things and I need to be able to get upset and talk about how I'm feeling. That's who I am, and I can't change it, and I don't want to. I love that
Yes.
sentence, the I don't want to
And I don't
part.
want to.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And she says, and the thing is, you knew that. You knew it, and you still pursued me because you want something with me. You just aren't strong enough to have it, which in a way makes you a coward. And the saddest part is that one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize what you missed, and it's going to be too late. 10
So
out of
good.
10, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Gosh, I just think that this was phenomenal for from Felicity. I really love that. Like, I feel like it's since the Assassins episode where she stood up to Megan. Like, I really think that she found her voice, and I love it for her. And I think like this is just like such a reflection on like becoming an adult, finding yourself when you're like in school. Like, I just love that she has like this confidence to like speak her truth. It's really awesome. And he really did drag her along. And like he
Mhm.
also like he totally he pursued her knowing that she like the thing that he was like, oh, you just like love to talk about your feelings all the time, everything's like a big deal. It's like, you knew this about her. Like, she
Mhm.
never like was the type of person that wasn't
Yeah.
like this. Like,
She's
she
talked to you to New York, for fuck's sake.
yeah, like she does take things like this seriously. And it's just like, like you're once again like the one to pursue her, even though you knew like this stuff about her personality. It's like, you know, it's like it's also like a sort of thing where it's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking, like, you and Will were friends before you guys got together. Like, can you imagine, like, if you got together and he was like, well, I really just, like, don't like the fact about X, like a certain personality thing
Yeah,
about you.
yeah, I
It's
can't
just
say
like,
how loud you
well,
are. It's like, we've been
sure.
wow,
Like, we
you
were
already knew this about
together.
me.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were together for like all this time. And like, as friends, like, you knew that about me. And like, like what it's like the same thing with
Mhm.
like Adam, where I'm just like, I feel like I'm always like, you know like I'm like so sensitive, like I'm sorry that like I am like a crier. And he's like, don't you think like I knew that about you when I started going out with you? Like, I knew that you were like sensitive, like you made like a fucking like crying PowerPoint presentation to talk
Mhm.
about how many times you cried. And if he like came to me and was like, yeah, I fucking hate that you're so sensitive, you cry all the time and like blah 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 blah, I was like, well, you've been new. Like, you knew about that about me, and you said that you liked me for me. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, Ben likes the idea of like the idea of Felicity.
He likes
not
hanging out with
actually
Felicity, but he doesn't want a relationship, and that's
Yeah.
what she wants, and it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I really love this scene, especially because he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to say." It's like, "Fucking you never do, Ben." And she says, "I know, it's okay." And the one single tear, it was just like so good because it was
Yeah.
just the tiniest little tear in the corner of her eye. And so she does her hot walk away, hair bouncing in the wind. She packs up all their photos from the road trip. And she says the time had come to let go of old habits and old dreams. I'm ready to move on and see what else is out there. Berkey asks if she wants to shower with him, but she says, "No, I've already showered today. That's okay."
That's such a weird question, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and she puts away the triangle necklace that Ben got
Good.
her.
How
Yes.
about you throw it out? Throw that shit
Yeah,
in the
burn it.
fucking dumpster.
But she
It was
does
an ugly-
apologize
It was
to
a really
Berkey.
ugly necklace anyway.
It was just a triangle, It's
It was
whatever.
so ugly.
She apologizes to Berkey for using him, and he says, like, "Listen, you want to use me anytime, like I'm around,
Ew.
But she says it's one thing to say you're going to let go, it's another to actually do it, to loosen your grip and let yourself fall. So when I walked into the haircutting place, I was taking a leap, but I wasn't doing it for a guy or because of some list. I was doing it for me." And she cuts off all her hair.
And we don't get to see what it looks like.
No, we won't see until next episode. We kind of talked about it at the top already. Listen, I've done drastic things to my hair. I've always been of the philosophy of like, your hair will grow. If you don't like it, it'll grow. If you don't like this hairstyle, it'll grow. Maybe you'll have an awkward stage. That's fine. Wear a fucking hat, it'll be fine. But I also come from the land of like, don't get breakup bangs. Like, just, you got to take a second. Like, don't go the same day. Like, I know she's saying she's doing this for her, and I believe that. I believe that she is like, I'm doing this for me. But if you do the same day, it's going to seem like it's for him. It's going to seem like it's because of him that you want to be someone else because you can't deal with your feelings. So I'm not against her cutting her hair. I'm just against her doing it like the exact same day that this all goes down.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just feel as though I just don't know. I wish she like just dyed it purple or something. Like,
Yeah, it's a tough look.
it's going to be so ugly.
Oh, we'll see it. We'll see
I'm
it
gonna
next
have to
episode.
look at her face and the ugly haircut for months. Ugh.
I know. It's so hard on you, isn't it?
Who my life is very hard, yes. I want God. Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't mean to complain, but I just hate it already, and I don't even know what it looks like, and I just hate it.
Yeah. So we do have to decide who to give a point to.
Oh, it's
this
gonna be
episode.
Felicity.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be. Like, she tells Ben off. It's incredible. 10 out of 10. We love to see it.
And I'm not gonna be able to give her a point with that haircut, so
There you go. So it's the only point she's gonna get for a while, I guess.
yeah.
Do you want to hear what next week's episode is? It's titled
Yes.
Ancient History. Which I don't know. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Okay.
Ancient
Well,
history.
I don't know.
We also have some voicemails. So a little fun behind the scenes tidbit. Our friend and yours, DBK, was supposed to be on this episode. Technology was not cooperating with us today. We had some internet connectivity issues. So he'll be on a later episode, but we're going to cut to a little tidbit on his thoughts for this episode right now. And then we'll come back and talk through another voicemail that we have.
The fates are against me, guys.
Yeah.
They don't want me to record this. They don't want me to say that Ben's the worst. I hate him this episode. My favorite thing is what Felicity says to the end of him. She shouldn't say the whole thing about her like, you're going to regret this. But what she says before that, where she's like, you pursued me, but you wanted something from me, but you're not strong enough to have me, which makes me a coward. She should have just walked away on that.
Mic drop. That's it. Yeah. Up.
Well, again, this is going to be so funny to splice together.
I don't think you should splice this together. I think that we should just like put it in like this.
Leave this in. Okay.
Yeah.
Dear listeners.
We are
tech
desperately
issues.
trying to have DBK, but the fates do not allow. They said no.
Yeah. Not today.
Oh,
is
he's
what Laura
back.
said. Okay.
Well, I tried, guys. You guys have fun recording, and we'll try this another time.
One last
All
thing,
right.
DBK, before the internet cuts out again. Thoughts on Felicity cutting her hair?
It's fine. I'm fine with
Okay.
it.
Okay, he's
Oh,
fine
it's
with
the
it.
red dress. The red dress.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
the red dress, that's burned in my brain when she like touches her shoe in
The party.
Sean's loft. Burned in my brain for a
Yeah.
lifetime.
Epic.
She's hot. Very hot.
Yes.
Okay.
And now
That's
he's
it.
done.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
That's all
right.
she wrote. That's all he wrote. That's all anyone wrote on this fucking week.
We tried. We
Ay,
tried.
ay. Okay. That was DBK's thoughts. The iconic red dress. He doesn't mind the haircut. So maybe we can all be a little bit like DBK.
Yeah, maybe I need to be a little bit more like DBK. Yeah.
But we do have another voicemail from Temmie, so let's hear what he has to say.
Salve, Sara. Bonjour, just tu sais belle, Kelly.
Aww.
Hey, you know, at the end of the episode when Felicity calls Ben a freaking coward? Ben's gonna want to travel back in time. That's how much he's gonna regret this breakup.
Yeah.
He's gonna want a time machine. Hey, listen to what I say.
Oh, Snow by Red Hot Chili
You know,
Peppers.
Sean, he does the opposite of what Cyrano de Bergerac does as a love advisor. He's giving Ben terrible advice. Ben's not getting good advice service, so maybe he'll turn around Ben. But right now he's gonna have to live in a tornado of fire of his own creation. And when the day is new, I'll have more ideas for you. Namaste.
Temmie, I missed you.
We missed your riddles, Temmie.
Temmie, I hope everything's good with you. Yeah, Sean's
I think we all can
advice
agree Sean's advice is trash.
was so bad.
It's really bad. It's
Which
just
I'm
like,
like-
you're gonna get, because what's gonna happen now? Ben ends things with Felicity. He's miserable. He's gonna blame you.
Probably, yeah. And like it makes me worried for like how he's going to treat Julie if he is giving such bad advice to Ben.
Exactly. Something to worry about.
It's like the opposite of it's like do as I do, not what I say. It's like the opposite of like do what I say, not what I do type of thing.
Yeah. Well, that was our feedback. That was our episode. We talked about next week's episode title. If you want to send in feedback, shit90spod.com or at shit90spod on Twitter and Instagram is the way to find us. shit90spod@gmail.com if you want to send us in a long form email. We love getting emails.
Love it.
Yeah, next week we're gonna cover season 2, episode 3, Ancient History. So that'll be a ton of fun. In the meantime, if you want to check out any of our Buffy content, we're like loving Buffy, and we just got to like a huge character, I think, based on my non-spoilery thoughts. And yeah, that's what we have going on over here. Of course, you can also hear me on Talking Shit, doing Schitt's Creek every week with my friend Stuart. And Sarah, what do you have going on at Whirlwind this week?
So a lot of good stuff going on. First of all, One Indescribable Podcast just announced that they're going to be covering Pushing Daisies, which was
Ooh.
one of my favorite shows. And I missed it a lot. So I'm really excited to rewatch it with Adam and then discuss it with them. Additionally, you and I are going to be covering Pretty Little Liars Original Sin Summer
Yes.
School on Whirlwind Podcast. We covered it on Post Show Recaps the first season, and we will be continuing our coverage over there. We've been doing previously on Shameless, but previously on Pretty Little Liars, previously Little Liars, which is such like so witty and smart, but that's going to be coming back soon as well. And then of course tuning in with Todd and Tommy, Whirlwind Investigations covering Veronica Mars, and of course Inside the TARDIS, all things Doctor Who. So we are buzzing over at Whirlwind Podcasts.
All right, check all of that out. And next week we'll be back with season 2, episode 3. Until then, everyone, have a good one. Bye.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.